It's right there, the second crib over there at the corner.
And we're pointing at it right now, so
Yeah. Right now we're just on 80th and Emerald. You know, I'm walking around with all my guys, my brothers and everything. I love them. You know, this is where I'm from. This is how everything went, you know. This is my brother. This is the one that told me right here, you know, not to never be in these streets, to never stay focused, stay on my grind to play basketball and go to school. You know, we walking around, this 80th and Emerald, where we was raised at all the time. You know, did a lot of stuff, of course. You know, it was a struggle, you know, trying to be around, you know what I'm saying, people that was trying to do stuff, trying to hustle, trying to make money and everything, you know. But at the same time, it was like as if, you know, I had my main goal and my main focus on getting up out of here, doing what I had to do, and, you know, working hard and making a lot of stuff done. I mean, say shout out, man, to the camera, man. Shout out to me, man. You love me, right?
Yeah, my little brother, man. You going, man, all the way.
For sure.
Little DJ.
For sure, man.
Gotta make it, man.
Right. We just gonna walk down
out here, man. Ain't nothing out here, man, at all, man. What you doing is something definitely out there, though.
For sure.
Hello?
give me some remembrances of, main highlights of something that happened around here. It could be basketball related.
Okay.
It could not be basketball related.
You know, we was back on here chilling one day. You know, we was getting shot at. You know, people shoot at us a lot. You know, a lot of stuff go down in this area. You know, a lot of things, people skirting off. You know, we got different gangs over here. You know that stuff don't supposed to be happening that way, but it happens. You know, and a lot of people always just kept my head straight and told me to stay focused. You know, don't let these streets, don't let this money or fast cash and cars and clothes and stuff interfere with my life. You know, take it the hard way. You know, earn your stuff, earn your gifts, earn everything you do. And I just stuck with it and had the talent that I had. You know what I'm saying? And just stayed with everything. It made everything possible for me. You know, This is my last year, but I'm going to college in Alabama, and I'm going. You know, Will Coultry, there's the head coach there. I'll be viewing to see him this summer. Actually, I'm going to see him July 8th.
Really?
You know, I'm going to train with him and have some little stuff. We're going to run on some plays.
Mention the school's name for us.
Miles College in Alabama. That's where I'm going. So I'm going to be attending this year, coming up in September for basketball. And, you know, I'm ready to do a lot of things, you know, a lot of things for basketball and knock some stuff out. Really have some good high-quality shots and everything.
When you were living here in your younger days, did you have some temptations to go the wrong way?
Yeah, you know, I had a lot of fights when I was young. You know, a lot of black people that's living in bad neighborhoods, ghetto neighborhoods, you know, always fight. You know, that's an average thing, you know, for black people nowadays. You know, fight on a block or whatever, you know, where you was raised at. You know, a lot of things happen. And, you know, it was tough. It was real tough, you know. Right now we're on 80th and Union. This is the area where, you know, I grew up, we chilling with the guys. I still be over here a lot, you know. I show love to my peoples all the time. You know. You know, and it's like, it's a lot of stuff that I can say that happened over here, but it's a lot of stuff I can say that didn't happen. You know, a lot of people show me love, so I really don't have that much to say on stories of what happened and what I did. But at the same time, it was like a lot of people just told me that if I didn't make it, if I didn't go somewhere far with this situation, or if I didn't do what I had to do, you know what I'm saying, then it's going to be hard. It's, you know, it's going to be hard. I'm going to be out here with them on the block, doing stuff, you know, that people don't have no business doing, of course. And you know what I'm saying? Trying to make another dollar, you know, like everybody else. You know, I kept my mind focused and I did a lot of stuff that I supposed to do, whatever, you know, to play basketball and do a lot of things. And I stress myself and work myself really hard, you know, to complete these goals and stuff that I'm doing right now. So basically, I'm just ready to get up out of here, go to college and play basketball and, you know, knock some stuff out. All the way through. I'm ready.
It sounds like it. Sounds like you got a lot of memories on this street here, huh?
Yeah.
So you used to walk all the way over here from a couple blocks away?
Yeah, my house was over there on 80th and Green. But you know, I was raised from a lot of these guys when I went to grammar school with them. And you know, we played ball. They could tell you stories about me. I couldn't make a layup. This guy right here, he's my guy. This is where I'm from. You know? guys that I love, you know, straight up. Tell him I couldn't make a layup. Man. Couldn't make a layup.
Who taught him how?
I don't know, he just started going.
For real. You know, I couldn't make a layup at all. They used to let me go. They just let DJ go. You know? So this motherfucker, oh my God, bro.
What up, DJ?
Oh my God. My dude. Oh my God.
You're in the camera.
So that's where he gets practice on it. So he started out a little rim like that.
This is where I started right here. Hooping, balling. I mean, I can show you a few dunks if you want some.
I've got the camera, man. You do your thing. You don't see me out here every day.
Hey, let me see the ball real quick, man.
Straight up.
Straight
up. Straight up. Move. Straight up.
Do simple little dunks and stuff that I used to do.
I think that's not much of a challenge on that rim for you right now.
No, never. You gotta lift that up some. I mean, it's simple dunk. You gotta lift it up a little bit, something, you know. I mean, I'll show you a dunk or something.
Strong rim too.
Yeah, I gotta love it. I did get big at this left.
Yeah, you did.
Maybe keep going, Mike. Follow through. Want some more?
Huh?
Some more?
I got a little angle there. Let's see you act the fool right now.
Act the fool, yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna keep going through, Mike.
Huh?
Keep going through. You know, so I mean, just working on everything that I did, you know, in the streets, you know, right here. I'm just so glad that I made it this far, you know, and to play ball and to do what I had to do, you know, and stay in school, you know, I can't let the streets bring me down at all. I had a stride, and what my stride was, and what happened was my stride was that it was as if I seen so many people do the wrong thing, and it was as if for me was not to do the wrong thing. It was for me to look at that as a learning lesson. You see what I'm saying? I look at this as a learning lesson, and this was, why would I want to do the same thing that they did, sell drugs out here in the streets? You know, do a lot of things that a lot of people did, and it was constantly repetition, constantly. You see what I'm saying? And my thing was, in my brain was, why would I do the same thing and end up the same way that they did? You know? So what I did was I found something that took stress away from me, which was basketball, and I studied it, and I started playing basketball more, and I started doing my books more, and I started educating myself into the fact to where it became second nature to me, to dribble a ball, to shoot a ball, you know, to walk around the neighborhood and say, hey, what's up to everybody, you know what I'm saying? It was just so much going on in my life that it was just like a lot of stress. You know, I did have a lot of problems at home, like every average kid, mother, father, you know, father not there, and everything like that. But that never changed my ways of thinking. It never changed my way of saying, you know what, I'm just going to become a quitter. Rock, what's going on, man? What's up, man? It never... Photo shoot, man. Video, college, you know. That's my uncle right there, man. He brought me a long way, yeah. That's my guy. He brought me a long way. A long way. Him and my stepbrother Sean, a long way.
Yeah.
We did a lot of stuff, you know, a lot of things. He showed me, stay in them books, keep playing, keep doing what you got to do.
When you're talking about that, hit me with some other people that influenced you in a positive way. I know basketball was the main thing. Who were the main people?
Some of the main people that influenced me was my Uncle Handy. You know, he always told me, hey, you know, I don't care if I have to lie to you to tell you something, or I don't care if you have to stick with that ball, do what you got to do to make it up out of here. You know, and of course, my mother told me to stay on top of my game. My father, you know, he was always, you know, sometimes there for me, but at the same time, he always kept 3 words and these 3 quotes in my mind. It was always go to school, respect your mother and your father, and for sure put God first. As you can see, God first, mother's name here, self-motivation, determination, and dedication. I had it all down packed to where it was simple. I got this stuff tattooed on me because I felt like these were stuff this was things that I had to do to get up out this neighborhood. As you can see, I mean, you see the streets. I mean, it's hard out here. People walking through, people doing all type of stuff. You know, they selling drugs, shooting people got guns, you know. It's so much drama. I stayed focused. I stayed in the gym. I stayed educated.
Educated where? High school where?
I went to Leo my freshman year. I didn't really get that much playing time, you know, because I was 5'2". I was only about 100 pounds, and I couldn't really do that. I mean, I had talent, of course, but I wasn't big enough. I wasn't equipped enough to play far south and varsity. At the time, I transferred to CVS, a public school, got some playing time with Coach Tone. You know, he showed me the right ways, but I didn't make it all the way through the end either. Didn't make it through at all. Finally, my junior year, I played varsity, played with Coach Pickett. He was a good coach, I can say that. You know, and he did a lot of things and helped me. You know, I started getting good playing time. You know, my mother got sick, whatever. She didn't get that sick, but, you know, Christmas camp, you know, a lot of stuff I didn't really look forward to. You know, I was too busy playing around with this basketball stuff. In my senior year, I transferred with the best coach I ever had in my life. His name was Dee Jay Carter and Mr. Buxton. These guys led me in the right way, and they did a lot of things that I loved. You know, they did a lot of things. And it was like, you know, I felt that them guys led me in the right way. You know, they put clothes. You know, I stayed with my coach, Dee Jay Carter. You know, they put clothes on my back. They helped me play basketball. They showed me different drills, you know, dribbling drills, all type of things, you know. And it was so good to me because I felt like I found a home, and I found something that I found something that I can do and do it constantly. Because my coach, you know, he had a little rim and everything, and I had people that I was around, people that was on the team that, you know what I'm saying, that brought me a long way. I had guys that was with me, you know, Frank, Lamont, Jamari, these guys here, these guys was with me. They was living with me and my coach, you know. We had it hard a little bit. You know, we had extra workouts or extra practice after practice and shooting extra shots. You know, we was tired during the day, of course. But, I mean, it was like, Phillips, yeah, for sure. You know, so, I mean, we did a lot of stuff, you know, did a lot of things. And it was just like, you know, I had to work harder because I was the last person coming out of high school from Phillips. You know, I think I was only the third or fourth person to graduate out of high school out of my social family. I was the third or fourth person.
Wow.
And honestly, I think I was the second to third person to even go to college from out my social family. And, you know, it was rough. Family members didn't really do nothing. You know, people laying on their butt, not working. And to me, a lot of people came to me and said, how did you do it? How did you do all this? How did you become so strong and so positive with basketball and school and everything? And I was just like, you know, I did it because it was a learning experience. I seen what people was doing and how they did it. I seen people grow and develop into a different type of drug dealers or shooters or go to jail. And I was like, I didn't want to do that at all. I didn't want to do it, you know. This is my stepbrother right here, Rudy. Hey, Rudy, come here. My stepbrother right here. We used to play all the time at the court. Tell him.
Yeah, I bet Garrett
all the time at the court. Garrett Morgan.
There you go.
You know, we was dunking on the back of his rim in the alley all the time. 80th and Emerald. All the time.
What'd you teach him?
I ain't teaching too much. DJ learned on his own.
Staying in the gym, I guess.
DJ learned on his own.
I mean, he can still play.
It's like it looks
I go to school though. I go to Kishwaukee and DeKalb.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, that's about it. That's the wrap up from where I'm from. That's everything. You know, I'm how you interview Coach B and everything. Tell him some stuff. That's about it. You know, you take